we were on the land portion of our cruise tour for 5 days. We flew in a day early and spent an extra day in Fairbanks, and it was well worth it.
Yeah, so the 5 days that we spent on land were well worth it. You need to get there plenty of time to relax and get set up. So we're really glad that Mike and Jennifer were able to build that time in for us.
We actually had a day to ourselves for free. You could have booked excursions. We chose not to do that. We chose to explore on our own, and it was fun. I will say they didn't have Ubers. Took a taxi everywhere we went. We
went to several different breweries in Fairbanks. Did some shopping that we would otherwise be able to do in Indianapolis. Some of the things that they sell there that is unique to Alaska. Some of the things that are handmade in Alaska. Those are the types of things we were looking for while we were there. So we were on the Grand Princess. It had all the amenities that a normal cruise ship would have, but we were able to know a lot of the things in advance that our ship had due to the information that Mike and Jennifer gave us. We didn't do an excursion on every stop that we were at, just so that we would build in time for ourselves and some other things we wanted to do on the ship.
Balcony suite. I will never go on a cruise ship without a balcony. It was definitely the views you could see for miles from that balcony, and it was so neat to see the mountain goats in Glacier Bay and the icebergs that were just floating by the cruise ship that were not on land. They were just in the water. It was not something I expected to see.
The whale watching tour. We saw humpback, we saw orca, we saw seals,
Otters.
We got to see a lot of those things on that excursion. My favorite excursion was the train up the White Pass. That was it takes you into Canada and then turns around, brings you back. You really get to see a lot of what mining for gold looked like, and that's why the train was developed, and that region was for that at the time. When we were on land in Alaska, we did an ATV excursion out in the wilderness, which was just adjacent to the National Denali State, the national park, which was a lot of fun and had potential to see a lot of wilderness and a lot of animals. We actually saw people out there camping on their own for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. We found Alaska to be a lot different than the lower 48. If you have an opportunity to visit Alaska, it is vast wilderness, lots of wildlife, lots of national and state parks, a lot more than you have in the lower 48. It seems that a lot of the experiences that we have in the lower 48 of some of the pollution and other pressures that we have in the lower 48, they do not have up in Alaska.
While we were on land, we felt very welcome. The locals did not treat us as strangers. They knew that we were providing them with their bread and butter, so they definitely treated us well and helped if we had questions. They were very quick to answer and give recommendations and good ideas of local spots to visit or to make sure you check out before you leave this area. Preparing for Alaska was challenging, I will say that. You don't know what the weather's going to be, you don't know what you're going to experience, so being able to plan for all of that just took a lot of thought. So thinking about cold weather attire versus some people wore shorts and when we were there. So it was kind of that part was, I think, hard to plan for.
Yeah, the weather in Alaska can almost feel summer-like, and then the very next day we're wearing mittens and hats and it's very, very cold. So you want to plan, which makes you pack a little bit more for that type of trip. What we did learn through finding out about the Alaskan trip from cruise planners was that there are some cruise lines that are better to take into that region than others, just because only a certain amount of ships can go up into Glacier Bay, which is one of the best highlights of the trip to Alaska is Glacier Bay, and they only allow 2 ships up in that bay per day. So it was, we took Princess Cruise Lines, and it was Very well put together the entire trip. Princess is really good for that trip.
We wanted to go to Alaska because it was on our bucket list. It was a bucket list trip for sure. And this was our anniversary trip, our 20-year wedding anniversary trip. So it was a special occasion. It was a special trip. It just kind of all fell into place.